basically the same board that I'd been riding at Sunset Beach as a single fin, but Fitzy just built a new one and said this is just going to be the epic twin fin gun. I just forget if the stabilizer that I put on it was there for 81. Maybe it wasn't, but I put it on in panic, knowing that there was going to be something major about to go down, because it's just a very tiny keel. It's interesting what adrenaline does, because it's a bit of a shaggy dog story, but my brother was basically parked next to Morris Cole. Now Morris was with Dane, always, Dane Kealoha. We were in a heat an hour and a half away, and Morris and Rod were having a chat, and Morris said to Rod, "I'll bet you that your brother can't beat Dane. Let's put $10 on it." And that was a lot of money to me back then. I wasn't winning big purses, and I was the rank underdog. But we were the only two surfers who both had guns. He had an 8-foot IPA gun, so why wouldn't he be favourite? So it wasn't until I was getting ready with my singlet that Rod went, "By the way, I've had to put $10 on you," and this and that. But I was standing up there when Bobby Owens was jumping off the rocks with Simon Anderson, and to my horror, Dane jumped off at the same time. But there wasn't enough. We weren't surfing for another 2 heats. And boy, did the adrenaline kick in right then, because if Dane was on a gun, was paddling right then, you know, basically 1.5 hours before he surfed, boy, did I shit myself. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I was down there in a flash, somehow duck dived 4 8-foot foamers close to the button and got through them both. On a normal day, I wouldn't have been able to duck dive a 5-foot foamer on that board. Somehow Providence got me through, didn't drag me back, and I was out there. The interesting thing, it wasn't so much the boards that day, it was the wind. Particularly the 3 or 4 heats towards getting into mid-afternoon. The wind got so strong. The surfer, if he had a short board, he'd get pitched, like Crammy and Dave Hansen, their heat. Or was it Mark Price? Yeah, Mark Price. But with guns, I found it essential to paddle halfway down the wave face before standing up, because you'd be lifted back all the time. Yeah, so no problem with speed getting down the face, excepting on my first wave I realised that it was a bit of a different game, because I got to the bottom, looked up, it was just a massive wall closing out. The wave hit me, and I came up without a vest. Now these were double tie vests. They never came off, but this thing was exploded straight off me. So that's why there's footage of me surfing just in a black wetsuit. What that board allowed me to do was paddle further up towards Rincon, whereas in the previous heats, they were both, the surfers were, you know, respectively just holding line straight out from the steps, but nonetheless way out. Nothing like an Hawaiian gun to be able to take off with trajectory straight into a high line, aka Fitz's designs. And as far as that heat went, I make no bones about saying I knew I had to get an early leap with wave count on Dane, and then play a small wave game with him in trying to hold him off from the inside. And he didn't like it. And Dane, I know you would have. It still would have been a great heat, but I know you would have beaten me if you'd caught all those waves that I was on. The whole day was extraordinary. But if you were to do the top 10 moments of an extraordinary day, of course Simon is number 1, but there'd be 9 other extraordinary moments, including John Harris stomping in the roof of the car that he was driving with Gabe Callaghan as he rode that last wave against Nick Carroll, stomping in the roof as he was standing going, I don't believe it, I don't believe it. Another memory simply would have been me turning around with Dane and with Nick as what seemed like a 30-knot straight offshore wind was blowing in a dropping sun, and we thought Gabe might be dead because he was under that wave. It had become a scene out of Zulu, the movie, where the ring of people on the cliff is just there, except there was a ring of about 1,000 people, but all with arms upstretched. I've just got goosebumps. I can still see all those arms outstretched as Gabe is halfway through his ride, not knowing what's happened, but the arms are all up in the silhouette. What a moment. Yeah, the moments of that day.